So VTubing has taken over the world in the last 5 years, and as somebody who's got quite mixed opinions on it, but is also friends with several VTubers, I could not pass up the opportunity to give my hot takes about it ever since a viral post said so. And it turns out Rev Said Des did the same thing. So welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idol, and we're going to take a look at some of these hot takes, see what he's right about, see what he's wrong about, and see if I go even harder in the paint than him. Because let's be real, while I do love my VTuber friends, there's also so much VTuber cringe out there. So we're going to get into it before we do hit that subscribe button. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day, and while this isn't necessarily news, it is a chance to have some fun that I can't pass up. So let's go.
Hey, what's up, guys? Rip here. So every time I see one of these threads on Twitter, I know it's a great opportunity for some content. So if you're not familiar with this type of post, it's asking for hot takes.
Wrong. If you're not familiar with this type of post, it is engagement bait. Full stop. It's engagement bait that I almost never interact with. But this is the exception.
On VTubing, whether it's VTubers themselves or the related communities or whatever. And unlike a lot of the people who are either delusional or too afraid, I will give you the actual answers to some of these. You don't have to agree with all of them, but I think where I'm coming from is pretty reasonable because it's largely common sense at this point, okay? So let's jump right into it. The first one says, too many VTubers deal with drama like we're still in high school.
Out the gate, full stop, I'm just going to disagree with this one. This is, first of all, this isn't a hot take, but this isn't even exclusive to VTubers. This is most people on the internet, not even most content creators, most people on the internet.
Yes, a lot of VTubers and content creators generally, they are reliving high school. Except with VTubers, this time they're reliving high school with an attractive anime girl model, which ups their levels of delusion and narcissism.
Okay, I guess I will agree with this part. Like, the amount of people behind VTube avatars that are probably fugly broads or fugly dudes pretending to be broads does make it even worse because they can live out the whole Mean Girls fantasy that they were on the receiving end of in high school.
Even more. And the way they handle drama and controversy, as well as interpersonal issues, is very high school. You know how many Google Docs I've seen dropped on people over the slightest of disagreements, or people having public feuds over things that could be settled with a quick exchange of private DMs? But
while this is true, I also kind of love it because if there's any time when like the news is a little bit slow or you don't know what you want to cover, maybe there's something going on in gaming or anime or politics, the same old. VTube drama be some easy views because holy shit, you can just roast retards on both sides.
Yeah, a lot of people reliving high school, and it is very, very pathetic. Now, of course, this one will generate a lot of response. This person says, a lot of VTubers complain about parasocial behavior from fans, but the simple fact is many present themselves as sexually available and willing in a very personal sense, and not just as an act. At that
Again, no, I'm going to disagree with this one. This is not a VTuber specific thing. This is a woman on the internet thing. Like, whether it be your sexy anime avatar girl, or whether it be just any of them titty streamers on Twitch or on YouTube or whatever, like, this is just women want to exploit dudes to give them money. Which, you know what? Fair enough. Because dudes be simps and be giving them money, and honestly, that might be a little worse because dudes are enabling these dumb broads. So yeah, I don't think this is a VTuber hot take. I think this is a dumb bitches on the internet take.
Point, you're basically bringing it on yourself. Now, a lot of people on Twitter will read this last part and say, uh-oh, you're victim blaming. Well,
I don't give a fuck if victim blaming. It's true. If people have formed a parasocial relationship with you because of the way that you've interacted with your chat and whatnot, you did bring it on yourself. Sorry, is the internet. You gotta learn how to draw borders, draw lines, whatever. And a lot of these dumb broads react way too late after those borders were crossed when you played into that shit to get that sweet, sweet dollar bills, y'all.
Unfortunately for them, they have no reading comprehension based on the context up here. And also, the people who are angry about this last part are probably guilty of the previous part.
True.
Can I tell you how many dommy, mommy VTubers who have like Fansly accounts and cater to the girlfriend experience and have like nothing but sexual content and always present themselves as available and single, who go around and say, oh my gosh, how did I attract all these lonely men? That is your core audience, pretty much.
And that is why when I said at the beginning of this, I'm pretty mixed on VTubers, because there's a lot of these motherfuckers out there. And again, to be fair, I'm pretty mixed on female streamers in general for the same reason. That's why the VTubers I pal around with and I hang around with, obviously, Cinny, if you guys watch my show and watch my streams, you know her and I are thick as thieves, we're besties. She doesn't really play that whole game. Now there's Lumi, now there's Mama Akko, for obvious reasons, if you know, you know.
That is what you're catering to. Do not be a shocked Pikachu face when you attract lonely weirdos, when you present yourself as available and all of your content is sexual and you provide a girlfriend experience. There's so many VTubers who do this and are shocked at the results. And recently I even saw a VTuber who I'm not going to name because I think they just want attention, but they posted a selfie that was safe for work. And they're like, oh my gosh, all the people in the replies are saying sexual things to me. This is horrible. I was looking at their account. Literally the previous post was them practically naked. And that's really all of their content. And it's like, really? It's all an act. It's very performative, just like many things in the VTubing scene. But here's one. VTweeters are not VTubers.
The fuck's a Vtweeter?
We asked for hot takes, ma'am. Yeah, this is very agreeable. In case you don't know what a VTweeter is, it's someone who does pretty much everything a VTuber does except make actual content. It's very funny. Okay, they'll pay for models, or they'll plan on getting models. They'll shape their entire account like that of a VTuber. They have all these big plans, but they never actually do anything. In fact, the closest thing they do to making content is tweeting and virtue signaling, largely because that gets a lot of seal clapping from fellow VTubers. But let's go to the next one.
The internet was a mistake.
This one is actually the reason I discovered this thread.
Yes! I have so much to say on this one. I actually ran into this post in the wilds of X, and this shit was funny as hell and true as fuck. This wasn't funny, but the way that some dumb motherfuckers reacted to this one was funny.
This is getting a lot of conversation, and you'll see why, okay? Hot take, the VTuber community preaches diversity and inclusion nonstop, but it's an echo chamber. Left-wing or super progressive views get endless claps and collabs, while anything right of center or even moderate conservative instantly triggers hate mobs, cancellations, and no collab lists.
Which, all that is true, but they're also wrong, because at least from what I've seen on the internet from the last, year and a half, maybe a little bit longer, these sorts of VTubers, the ones that are moderate, right of center, some of them even, decently far right, are the ones that, yeah, maybe they're not being acknowledged by, like, the wider VTube community at large or whatnot, but they got the most dedicated audiences, though. You trying to tell me that Kersha don't got a dedicated audience, don't got a killer audience? Same with Leaflet, same with Smugglana. Nah, like, sure, they might not be getting all the, the collabs and being put in these, video games and shit like that, but they be getting their fans to also showing up for every stream, every video, donating hella bag, which again, that's a good thing. I am pocket watching. I'm saying congratulations, get that bag, you deserve it. So you know what? Yeah, it doesn't even matter if the quote-unquote majority of VTubers want to cancel you, or the majority of these VTubers fan bases think that you're a Nazi or whatever. As long as you got your dedicated fan base that's gonna come to every stream, every video, support you left, right, and center, well, maybe not left for obvious reasons, then yeah, you're doing something right. And I'm loving this influx we're seeing of openly right wing or at least right leaning VTubers just become this sphere in and of itself.
Real friends in a healthy scene should let VTubers have wildly different political opinions.
Not too wildly different political opinions. Again, if you want to be like, hey, let's argue about high taxes versus low taxes, or, whether taxation is theft altogether, sure, fair enough. But you a right-wing VTuber, you can't really be friends with somebody who's got the wildly different opinion of, let's shoot political speakers who've done nothing wrong through the neck because they're a Nazi. Yeah, you can't live with those people.
Without torching relationships, grow up. True diversity means tolerating views you disagree with, not demanding everyone thinks the same.
Base.
So let's talk about this first part. Yes, a very large number of VTubers spend their entire online presence preaching about diversity and inclusion, And the second someone has any differing opinion on anything, they are ousted, they are blacklisted, they are harassed, they are excluded, and sometimes even worse. Even worse things are wished upon them. But yeah, I want to point out something here. This next point is really important. If you're a VTuber watching this, please listen to this next part, okay? This tweet has nearly 10,000 likes. Now, of course, people are screeching about this. They're seething about this take. But overall, this post has, by far, leaps and bounds, the most support among the hundreds.
And that is exactly what I was pointing out. Because sure, there may be like raw numbers if you look at the overall like total number of VTubers who are obviously left-leaning shills who don't understand the real world, don't understand politics. Yeah, you might get the biggest number in that because that's what the algorithm and what the internet and what social media and what YouTube and all and what Twitch has promoted consistently over the last several years. But those are effectively fair weather fans, especially if those sorts of fans are going to drop you, like, you know, just the drop of a hat. They're going to bounce at the drop of a hat if you say the one thing they disagree with or whatnot. As opposed to if you got these right-leaning views in the YouTube space, sure, you might have smaller numbers at a singular level than the influx of the mass majority. But those people can be dedicated, and if you say something they disagree with, by and large, they don't really give a fuck. And these people are now able to actually show their support publicly without getting canceled, without getting fired, without having to live in fear and whatnot. You can have all these people, nearly 10K people, liking this tweet, acknowledging it is true, when they wouldn't have been able to do that about 5 years ago, even if they would have agreed.
Of responses to this threat. And there's a reason for that. The people supporting this, sure, there are some VTubers in there, right? But the majority of people supporting this post are VTuber fans. I know, that's shocking, right? Something that's appealing to the actual fans, the people you're supposed to be entertaining as a VTuber, crazy stuff. Well, these fans who are supporting posts like this, they see this pattern of these virtue signalers, the endless virtue signalers in the VTubing scene who are hyper-progressive, you can call them woke, whatever you want, and that's like all they do is lecture and preach, and people are tired of it. The people who constantly preach about inclusion don't want to include anyone who thinks differently than them. And in this particular case, anyone who's right of Mao Zedong politically is not welcome. Okay?
And y'all want proof of this? I don't know if he'll show this or not. So let's go ahead and let's just take a quick gander, because I know what's on my X. So, all right, perfect. All right, so let's go through this level, this little thread here. Alrighty, so this was the post. You know, got an opinion about VTubing, they would get you like this. So homeboy here, I assume it's a boy. I don't know if this is a dude or not. I mean, Dundee of any two, best most ugly little goblin. I don't know if this is a dude or not. I don't care. I'm sure Esprit to a good individual. Point is, a lot of female VTubers mislead their male viewers into thinking they have a chance with them, so they can milk money from them and use them as tools to attack other female VTubers. Again, feminine warfare bullshit. These are the hallmarks of feminine warfare. The space has become toxic because these women, who are a lot, try to build mini cults. They have zero interest in dating these guys, but make them think they have a chance. Many women have learned they suck in the workforce because they're lazy assholes, so they become VTubers to make lazy reaction slop to steal other people's content. Now, first of all, before y'all be like, oh, Leon, you do reactions, since it's lazy reaction slop. If your boy sees a 20-minute video, you can good goddamn guarantee my reaction about to be 45 fucking minutes. That shit ain't lazy, but that's neither here nor there. This last part's what got people so upsetty spaghetti. Many women have learned they suck in the workforce because they're lazy assholes, so they become VTubers to make lazy reaction slop to steal other people's content. Based and true. Many women have learned they suck in the workforce. They be taking more time off than dudes. They're not doing the actual difficult infrastructure and STEM jobs that, you know, keep the world afloat. Yeah, they end up that easy fucking paycheck. This is true. And this got a lot of folk upsetty spaghetti. Next time, you should just make a post that says you hate women. Be a lot shorter and direct. Well, first of all, at no point do you say hey women. Many women, not all, not even most. I'm so misogynistic, I would say most women. This individual just said many women. So already you're wrong about the misogynistic aspect. They go on to say, so he quote tweets, right? He does first of all, always do the screenshot just in case they get sneaky and try and delete that shit in case they get ratioed into the shadow realm. He says, it's rather funny, because you should see all the female VTubers who like the tweet and agree with me, many of whom I speak to and am on good terms with. But I guess exposing toxic women makes a woman hater, because some women can never take accountability for when they're wrong. To be fair, again, this is where I'm more misogynistic than Espiritu here. He says, many, where some women can never take accountability. Change that some to a different four-letter word. Most women can't take accountability. So for being in the wrong, says a lot about you. Took me 3 seconds to see why you're so mad. You're one of them. Bingo, bango, bongo. There it is. Titties glory. Like, I don't even know what sort of content this is. I don't need to know what kind of content this is. I could just take a single solitary look at this screenshot and be like, yep, I get it. That makes sense. And again, some people are like, oh, well, Cindy has big titties. Well, first of all, again, let's go ahead. Let's take a quick gander at some of my gal Cinevere's thumbnails. And you tell me whether or not she's actually like using her VTuber body for clicks or for anything like that. Because so far as I can tell, yeah, this is regular thumbnails. Happy New Year. First stream of the year starts with the cozy chat. This one talking about Soma. Or playing Soma. Let's see. Let's go to Cinevere's actual channel here. There we go. Let's take a look at some of the actual videos that she's done. Not a thing sexual about this. Where my horde at? And by the way, Cindy has been a WoW player for years upon years, so I know this cover she's into. Breaking news, not a very sexual post whatsoever. She's in like a little bit of cleavage. Oh well. This crossed a line, talking about the peanut stuff. Let's see. He changed his mind. It's about the Snoop Dogg stuff. Again, yeah, she got some titties out there, but very obviously you got a big thumbnail. You got the news coverage. Their episode over this, some chibi review stuff. I mean, again, pretty typical YouTube thumbnail stuff. Nintendo's legal oversight, referring to the Power World stuff. Oh, look, her and I playing Super Mario Kart. Actually, I think I may have made that thumbnail for her. I could be wrong, but I think I made this thumbnail for her, which would go to explain, I guess, maybe the differences in the chesticles. But the point is, so yeah, when he's saying that you're one of them, I know a lot of people, haters, when I was like, oh, you collab with Cindy, it's like, yeah, well, guess what? Cindy clearly ain't one of them. But it goes beyond that. So she says, if you're unable to comprehend that your last sentence was rooted in misogyny, that sounds like a you issue, my guy. Many women have learned they suck in the workforce because they're lazy assholes, so they become VTubers to make lazy reaction reaction slop to steal other people's content. Now, this last sentence isn't rooted in misogyny whatsoever, because let's take a look at the definition of misogyny, just so that we're out here. Misogynistic, well, let's just do misogyny, actually. That's not correct. We'll just do definition. Strongly prejudiced, strongly prejudiced against women. That would be, as a whole, against women, and in a uniform manner, using women as if they're a monolith. So just when he, by definition of using the term many, when he just says many, not even most, many, definitionally it's not misogyny because it does not treat women as a monolith. Sharing my comment in an attempt to get your community to dive on top of me because you can't fight your own battle speaks volumes. The cherry on the cupcake is you seeing a 3-second clip that has cleavage and assuming that my content is limited to a set of boobs because the idea that a woman can have success using features of her body that are strongly desired to her advantage triggers you is not helping your case. Now here's the best. Oh, no, hold on. So here's the great part. The dunk, by the way, 56,000 views, 9 likes. Homegirl ain't getting the support she thought she was gonna get. And then he destroys her. Like, dude, we just finish her. Like, we talking fatality. Bitch, you came into my comments, tried to take a swing at me, and now you're crying because I swung back and you can't handle it. Again, some feminine warfare bullshit. Proving my whole point. You're a VTuber selling your ass because you sucked in the workforce and being a lazy piece of shit. You went to selling your ass on the internet to farm lonely men for money. Sad, the only thing that you can sell online is your body because clearly the rest's not working out for you. Again, we never accredited most women, or at least, most women's right, with an overabundance of schooling, overabundance of brains. Me exposing some women does not equal hating all women. Full stop, exactly, which is why it's not misogyny. That's just you trying to use good women as a shield for your shitty ass, bitch. Don't drag others because you got exposed. Take some accountability for once in your life. I mean, like, telling a woman to take accountability? We got a better chance of the sun not rising tomorrow. That's neither here nor there. So yeah, again, destroyed Shadow Realm. Ended this broad's existence. So yeah, when we go to this individual's channel, right there, it asks, oh no, yeah, right here, lewd. It's in the fucking name. It's just like, oh, well, you see one screenshot and you assume that's, you've got lewd in your fucking, your alternate account, and it's got more followers. Clearly, that's what people are there for. Your main account, or maybe this is your alt account, whatever, 675 followers. The one that's got lewd in the fucking name, nearly double that amount. So clear, yeah, look at that. Real life body cam. Look, that is your pinned fucking comment. Interactive, oh, whoa, I'm gonna have to censor that out. But needless to say, it was an anime VTuber character giving a very obvious blowjob. Like, it wasn't censored or anything. It was just like anime girl just like going to town on the cock. So needless to say, yeah, that is all you're good for. So when you try and come at it with this whole like, oh, just looking at a 20-second clip and pretending that's all you need to know about me, dude, I just looked at your channel for all of a few seconds and was able to tell that about you. These broads are tripping.
People see this, and it's true. There's no study you can pull up, but if you just watch the VTubing scene on the Western side of things, there is overall a very left-leaning, hyper-progressive sort of viewpoint that is shared by the majority, okay? And they might be the loudest as well, and that just doesn't line up with VTuber fans. VTuber fans are all over the place. And proof of that is, think about the most successful indie VTubers. What are they? Almost all of them are apolitical. They don't talk about anything because they don't want to exclude or isolate a potential audience base.
So in other words, they're smart. Because first of all, ain't everybody a political expert and a political analyst? I'm tired of this world we live in where everybody pretends to be, right? Like, even me, while I do a whole lot of political content, I've had a love for politics pretty much ever since after 9/11. I was wrong for many, many years of my life, but the point is still to love for politics. I do my best to stay informed. I at least try. Most of these motherfuckers are only into politics because it's fashionable, because it gets them views, it gets them clicks, but more importantly, gets them clout. As long as you can come, I have right opinion, which is very often the left-leaning opinion due to a deluge of brainwashing, then yeah, people are going to at least give them the likes on the internet or whatnot. Now, it's not going to translate to sales, it's not necessarily going to translate to views, but it's going to translate to an inflated sense of self-importance and an inflated sense of relevance. But at the end of the day, the ones that are intelligent, the ones that are apolitical, also probably just they're smart enough to know that's not their bag, that's not their wheelhouse. It isn't even about alienating their fans. Most regular folk, content creator or not, don't give a fuck about politics because you're just one person. What can you do? You know, whatever their rationale is. Bro, they just want to chill, play video games, react to videos, hang out with the audience, whatever it be, and get that bag, son.
Because they care more about entertaining people than virtue signaling and sharing their political opinions or trying to impress other VTubers. That's the problem here. A lot of these VTubers who are very hyper-progressive, they post about the modern thing every 2 seconds because they want to impress not VTuber fans, but other VTubers. They want the seal claps from the other VTubers. That is more important to them.
And it's so they can get in the club, by the way. It's that way. Oh, man, if I say this thing, that more popular, more famous VTuber, and by the way, this is not just VTubing. This is also very common in the content creator space. Why do you think Hassan got all them orbiters that even though they're going through these lawsuits with Ethan Klein, which is funny as hell, he never donated to a goddamn single one of them? Why? Because no matter what they do, no matter how much they suck his metaphorical cock, and I definitely say metaphorical because we all know that there's a very solid 70% chance that allegedly that shit ain't even real. Point is, he's not supporting them. They can do anything and everything to lift Hassan Piker up, not because they actually agree with him, or not because they're legitimate friends, but because they just want a small taste of that #1 leftist fucking content creator, political content creator, whatever, clout that he has. They want to get that bag. They want to be in with the in crowd. They want to be popular. They want to be loved. And they think, mistakenly, the best way to do so is to gargle his fucking nutsack. Like, it's wild. There's a reason that I'm sitting here still not at 10k subs, Hypno well over 100k subs, and we still stream with each other on the weekly. Why? Because we homies. Because we actual friends, right? There's not an ounce of clout chasing or none of that bullshit, but most people on the internet don't operate in that. So when you see these people, whether VTubers, small-time content creators, just trying to insert popular thing to get the notoriety and to get the approval of more popular individual, it is all for clout, and it's not because there's any shared, like, emotional connection to the individual. They are all fucking tools. And I meant that, like, in the literal sense, like, they're using each other as tools, but also just pejoratively, they're fucking tools.
And actually building an audience, and that's tragic for them. Think about it. How many super outspoken, hyper-progressive VTubers do you see out there with a tangible amount of success, like a long-term career level of success as a VTuber? Practically none. In fact, some people would say zero. And it's not that surprising because it doesn't line up with what VTuber fans actually want. And then we think about, what is this moderate conservative or anything right of center? Like, what does that even mean? Well, this is a good point in the replies. Crazy the amount of VTubers I have seen labeled as alt-right for simply reacting to a shoe-on-head video.
Yep.
I have seen multiple VTubers who are, not problematic in the eyes of all these other VTubers for the longest time. Then they reacted to a shoe-on-head video, and all of a sudden now they're an alt-right.
Which is crazy, because I good goddamn guarantee you, almost none of the VTubers that call them problematic, that try to start these cancel mobs and whatnot, actually even watched the reaction video. The shoe video, by the way, in question, was about the exploitation of children on minor-oriented dating apps, which is disgusting, and that should be something that all people give a fuck about, regardless of their political alignment. But yeah, by and large, like, you can react to people you disagree with. I react to Hassan Piker frequently. I react to chibi reviews frequently, and even though that we agree a lot of the time, there's entire times we disagree. In fact, I did an entire video relatively recently tearing Chibi a new one for how much I disagree with him, how wrong he is. Frankly, I'm reacting to Rev right now. I've disagreed with him multiple times. I've reacted to Candace Owens, who I loathe, who I can't fucking stand. So yeah, you can react to people you disagree with and give your opinions on why you disagree with them, but if these people aren't going to even watch the video, just be like, oh, you're reacting to this person, that must mean you agree with everything they have to say. It's this small-minded tribalistic bullshit that, again, it's incredibly prevalent in the content creation space in general, but I would say it's far worse amongst VTubers.
They're alt-right and they are blacklisted and they're terrible, and now they're free to harass and dogpile anytime you want. I have seen this play out multiple times. And then you have posts like this saying, Girl really just said, why am I being penalized by other VTubers for being a bigot? It's not fair. Then
And this is where, this will be the last thing we talk about, and then we'll probably end it here. You guys can watch the entire video. I'll have it in the description below. This was the big brain take from Zalia. No fucking idea who Zalia. In fact, let's find out. Let's find out who Zalia Felina is. Because, yeah, I saw this post, and it was fucking retarded. Zalia Felina. There we go. Let's see. Again, what I tell you, they're a fucking nobody. The reason they're making statements like this, the reason they're making claims, oh, I might penalize by other VTubers for being a bigot, it's not fair, they're doing exactly what I described earlier. They're trying to say the right thing to get into the club. I bet if we go to Twitch, they're also a fucking nobody on Twitch. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. There we go. 353. They are a nobody on Twitch. So again, like, the reason they are making this claim, the reason they are saying this is to try and get into the club. So that one of these much bigger VTubers that virtue signal can maybe, just maybe, see this fucking post, maybe get a little bit of a like, maybe get a little bit of a follow, and then once that big time VTuber follows them, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna hop in those dude. They're gonna slide their DMs faster than a drunk dude on Instagram at 2 a.m. That's what they're gonna do, and it is It is wild to me that that people are actually convinced. There's some, for whatever reason, there is a segment of the population of these VTuber fans that are convinced that these individuals actually give a fuck about ethics or about, integrity or, frankly, about politics to begin with. Then proceeds to talk about VTubers in SS uniforms and applauds Kershaw and Nides. Yeah, Kershaw should be applauded. Kershaw broke the mold. I mean, to my knowledge, Kershaw is probably the first notably right-leaning VTuber that was able to actually be, have some modicum of success saying the incredibly right-wing things she says, based of her to do, by the way. And despite all the cancellation attempts, despite all the harassment, everything coming after her, has come out relatively unscathed and on top every time. Why? Because it seems like Kershaw actually practices what she preaches and lives by what she preaches, and there ain't been a scandal that she's walked away from in any way, shape, or form phased. Paradox of Tolerance Noir. Look it up before being this dumb next time. And there it is. They end it off with the attempt at pseudo-intellectualism. Paradox of Tolerance. Talking about shit you have no idea about, but again, you say big, impressive words like this, and it'll make people who stumble across this think you're an intelligent individual. What were we talking about on stream, on Countercast? Sesquipedalian, using big words and whatnot to try and appear smarter than you actually are. That's what's going on here, and it's something that seems like the majority of folk ain't falling for. Because if you look at this, 36 likes, you can't really see it here. There we go. I'll make it smaller. 36 likes to 1,500 views. People don't fall for this shit anymore. Again, I love VTuber drama. I find VTuber drama to be hilarious. That's mostly because I find you can draw a very clear distinction between the two types of VTuber fans. The VTuber fans that are in it for the VTuber, and the VTuber fans are into it for the content. And while there is a crossover there, it's a Venn diagram. VTuber fans that just eat up just anything that, their Oshi or whatever says are fucking annoying, brain-dead troglodytes. Whereas people that come for the content, like people do, again, for Cinevere, or like some people do on the macro scale for Kershaw, they can be a fan of Kershaw, and they can completely think like, nah, I disagree with it on this take. I don't like this take. But guess what? I'm going to come back week after week because I'm entertained, because I like them as an entertainer, because I do like taking in this information. The list goes on. And interpersonal drama between VTubers is so fucking funny to me because the vast majority of these folk, like the vast majority of content creators in general, will always be a fucking nobody, just begging for the crumbs of success from those with a higher status than them. But these are just my opinions. Let me know yours in the comments down below, or let me know on X, where you can find me at Bolt the Word, and please do subscribe. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day. Not always about VTuber drama, but anime, movies, music, Magic the Gathering, you name it. Check us out on Instagram at wordsofparadise_Leon, and become a member for $4.99 a month. You can join the Discord, choose the articles we go over on a day-to-day basis, choose the videos we react to on the daily streams, and of course get involved with over 250 other vital idols. We are a bright, beautiful, glowing, vibrant community that I cannot wait to grow even further, because we do care about diversity, but only one kind of diversity of thought. That's interesting to you. Join the Discord, hit subscribe, and until next time, it's all here in the Nerdosphere. This has been Words of Paradise.